Here's one that I really use a lot, which is called Photo Dropper. I'll show that to you in just a minute when we go back to the posting area. There's also some search engine optimization plugins you can do. Now, I would have one caution about plugins, and that is you can really kind of go crazy with plugins because there's a lot of them that do a lot of neat things. For instance, the more you plugins you put in there, the longer it takes for your website to load. So if you really load up your website with 30 or 40 or 50 or 60 plugins, you're asking your viewers to take their time to load this up. So you have to kind of balance your goals between, okay, I want to use a lot of these plugins, but I don't want to slow down the website that much. Granted that most people probably access it on a pretty high-speed line, a broadband line, but there are still people that don't, and even the ones that do, if you put too many of these on, it will slow that down quite a bit. PodPress is one that I use for my podcast that creates the RSS feed, which makes it a very easy plugin for podcasting. There's a Showtime Slideshow, which I talked about. It displays images attached to a post or a page as an animated slideshow. And you can put as many pictures as you want in there. You can also set it up with Flickr or Picasa to show those pictures automatically. You just put that in there. Smart YouTube allows you to insert YouTube videos into posts and comments and RSS feeds. Very easy to do. Here's the Tweet Mem Retweet button, which adds a button which easily lets you retweet your blog posts. I'll show you what that is right here. If you go back to the home page, well, actually it's right there. If anyone wants to retweet it, this makes it very easy to do. You see that all over the web, and it's kind of a scorecard of how popular a post is. Some posts get retweeted a lot, some don't at all. This one got retweeted quite a bit, which was a fun podcast I did with Derek Maribon of IngenX Digital Marketing. Now, I presume that he sent this out to a bunch of his folks, and they came along and retweeted it as well. And so it helped to spread the word about this, and certainly got a lot of traffic to the blog as a result. So that's what the retweet mem is all about. There's a lot of other things, Twitter tools. So these are just the sort of things that you can explore while you're getting into blogging. And if you were to, for instance, start a blog, you'd want to have a discussion with someone that knows what they're doing, so that you can say, okay, what is a good plugin, and what are the good ones to use? What are the ones that kind of are useless? And you'll learn as you go along if this is what you want to do. And if you get into actually selling stuff, there's a PayPal shopping cart you can use. You can set up a WordPress mobile edition so that when people find it on your cell phone, your website looks very cell phone or smartphone friendly. You can also check out your WordPress.com stats. In fact, that might be something fun to do before we get out of the back office. I want to show you two more things. One is, well, maybe I'll show you three more things. Some of the tools you have here are very interesting when you get into your back office. Not too many here on this particular toolkit. Convert tags, categories to tags, tags to categories. Press this as a bookmark, little app that runs in your browser and lets you grab bits of the web. You can import and export your blog to save it. You've got a contact form you can edit, some of the settings you want to check out. This is all the stuff that goes on behind the scene, which really makes your blog look great and operate the way you want it to. This is the general settings section where if I change this, that would change the name that showed up in the address bar. The tagline I've got here, the main address, my email address, anyone can register. And some of the ways the format works out if a date shows up. So this is all what you can customize behind the scene. I want to show you just a couple of things if we were to do a post. Some of the, if I were to hit new post here, some of the particular widgets and plugins I use. Let's say I've got a podcast. Well, I can go down here, and I've got a widget that lets me add a media file. So I just cut and paste the actual location of that file here, give it a title, and then it'll detect the size. And then what you do is you just it shows up automatically, and it shows up in your RSS feed so that anyone who subscribes to it via iTunes, it's automatically downloaded to their iTunes, and they can transfer it to their iPod. And it also gives you the little flash player, which if you go back to here, that's what this player in particular is right there. That creates that for you. So that's one of the cool things about blogging is that it just makes it so much easier. In the old days, when I started podcasting back in 2005, you had to do all that manually. You had to create the Flash player out of a program. You had to create the RSS feed out of a program. And then you had to upload each and every piece separately. And it took quite a while to do all that, if you even knew what you were doing, which took me a while. So blogging has made podcasting a lot easier just to get the stuff out there. Certainly you have to be able to record the audio and produce that. That's an entirely different aspect of podcasting, but blogging and WordPress in particular has made blogging very, very easy to do. Now, let's say I wanted to come up with a photograph. One of the plugins I use is called Photo Dropper. It helps you browse photos that are licensed via Flickr. Let's say my keyword was trade show. So I would type in trade show, hit search, and it comes up with a set of pictures that I could now put in there. And if I want to kind of browse and keep looking for something that fits what I'm doing, I'm not sure how motorcycles fit, but sometimes you have to look around a while. But let's say you wanted to use that one. I could just insert, it tells you insert the medium-sized picture or the small-sized picture or the large-sized picture. And once you click that button, you go back up here and there's the picture. And then you can edit that how you want it to look. If you want it to sit on the left side of the blog post or on the right side or sit in the center. And you can also change the size of it if you'd like. So there's a lot of different options to when you get to the point where you want to put photos in. And there's many other options as well. I just ran across a couple of things yesterday. One of them is called Photo Shadowboxer or Photo Sandbox. I'll try and find those links and send them out to you. I just found them yesterday, so I'm still experimenting with them. But there's a lot of photos that are licensed by Creative Commons, which allows you to use it for free as long as you give credit to the photographer. So if you just look for that online, I'm sure you'll find a lot of options as well. So that's really all I wanted to show you in the back office. I want to go finish the webinar here with talking about some of the various elements that we're looking at. And let's go on to creating and positioning and publicizing your blog. Hang on just a second. I think I need a drink. Try and get through this here in the next 10 or 12 minutes. Now, when it comes to creating, you have to get ideas from somewhere, right? I find that most people have a hard time coming up with ideas. So where do you get ideas? Well, my advice is to, borrow them. Get creative. Check other blogs. See what they're writing about. Jot down titles of posts. Let them sit for a few days and see if you can come up with something that may be keyed off of that particular title. Keep a notepad handy. And now seriously, 24 hours a day, I have some sort of recording device near me, whether it's a notepad, whether it's a micro cassette recorder, an audio recorder. In my car, I keep that micro cassette recorder. I use it frequently. My cell phone has an audio note-taking app as well as a small note-taking app. So if neither of those handy, I can just jot ideas down on paper. I talked to one blogger about this where he gets his ideas, and he says, well, I have this idea file. I said, well, how many do you have in it? He says, like 500. I said, you have 500 post ideas? He says, yeah. So, whenever I want an idea, I just go through that. And every time I come up with something else, I just stick it in the thing. And when I publish it, I just move that to the other file of published posts. So what he'd do is he'd pull that idea from his list that he wanted to expand on and just move ahead. So I have an idea file on my computer that has a couple of dozen unwritten ideas at any one time, but, not 500. Also look what other people are commenting on. What posts get the most traffic? What blog posts on other blogs are getting a lot of action? Can you write something that relates? Can you find a post on another blog that you disagree with? If so, comment on it and link back to it. They really appreciate it, even if you disagree, because you're sending them traffic. Post your opinion. Chances are they may do the same for you. Can you find another post on another blog? This is all those various things that you can do. Keep in touch with your readers is a good way to do that. If you comment on your posts, if they do, you can make a point of going to their blog and leaving a comment on one of their posts. It shows that you're paying attention and that you value their input, and chances are that that'll encourage them to come back. And when people comment on your blog, reply back. It's a great way to create conversations and meet people, and it shows them that you care. It is important to that engagement and to bringing people back to your blog again and again. Have people opt into your email newsletter. You don't have a newsletter? Well, you should, which is also very easy these days. But that, again, is another webinar. So newsletters are another way to keep in touch with your readers, and you can promote them on your blog. make sure that you have your blog available in an RSS feed. Now, if you look at a blog, you'll almost always find a small icon somewhere on the page, which looks very much like that one. To create a feed that people can subscribe to, you want to go through some service such as Feedburner. Now, Feedburner is really the easiest. If you have a Google account, and who among us doesn't have at least some sort of Google account these days, you already have a Feedburner account, and it shows up as one of your Google apps. Now, here's a quick peek at the Google RSS Feedburner desktop. Very easy to set up, very worthwhile for a number of reasons. And if you go in there, you can do all sorts of stuff. And there's a lot of various reasons to set this up. The RSS feed URL is in the highlighted area there, as you can see. And with WordPress, that is created automatically. So once you've got the RSS feed, why would you want to go and add a feed with Feedburner? Well, every major blog is using Feedburner to burn their RSS feeds because it is a free, feature-rich system. You just can't turn it down. Feedburner provides statistics, feed optimization options, feed publication options, and much more. Integrating Feedburner and Google Analytics is a must for every WordPress blog. It's a free service loaded with options. You can get statistics, give your users multiple options to subscribe, such as email, also other feed readers. You can also, it shows social proof because it shows the number of readers that you have. You can optimize your feed, such as modifying the post headings and branding and more. So it really adds a lot of features that you would not have by just creating an RSS feed. So how else can you publicize it? Your blog. Well, you can register your blog. Some of those places you want to go to include Technorati, Google, MSN, Yahoo, DMOZ.org. These sites will have a place to register. Just search for register website on Google or MSN, and you'll find directions. But make sure you register your new blog because that helps those search engines know about you. They'll find you eventually, but you might as well tell them. Be friendly to them. Make sure you have a good About Us page. When people come to your blog, they need to be able to find out information about you or your company. So that includes information on an individual, if that's the kind of blog it is, contact information, including street address, mailing address, phone numbers, how to find you on social media outlets. Not only does this help people find you if they have questions, it really builds your credibility. Most people think if you're willing to put all of this information on your website, you must be legit, because there are certainly websites out there that don't do that, and you wonder about them. If a website does not have this type of information, you think, gosh, are they scamming me? One of the biggest and best things you can do online is to position yourself as real and trusted, because as you know, on the web, it's easy to put up a website. It's easy to be anyone, and there isn't a lot of trust out there. So by building a full and informative About Us page, you go a long way to building that legitimacy and credibility. We talked earlier about comments. Make it easy to use. Don't make people register just to comment. I did experiment with this several different ways. I found that not requiring people to register does help. It gets you more comments. And using a spam filtering tool such as Akismet also helps. Just make the setting easy so that all you have to do is click a link or two and you have approved the post. And usually those can get approved in a few hours. You'll get an email notification. There is a comment awaiting your approval, and it gives you the comment so you can see easily if it's something you want to add to your blog. You can just approve it by a click, and you can also trash it with a click. So I guess it depends on how often you check your email. If you don't check your email very often, the comment might hang in that waiting to be approved box for a day or two. Also, comment on other people's blogs. If you do that, you're telling the world that A, you're here, B, you're engaged, and 3, you're interested. When you comment on other blogs, you often have a chance to put in your blog address, which of course gives other readers a chance to click through to your blog. I have found some of the most interesting blogs by clicking through those links in the comment sections of other blogs.